Yeah, welcome to another video today by the Tokyo Real Estate Man. I'm wearing the same hoodie and jacket as I was in yesterday's video, but it is a day later. And yeah, I just like I said, I like to make these videos because I really like to interact and talk to people, and it's even pathetic channel like mine. I'm actually I really even like my little channel, just that I've had it for many years, and if I have some thoughts and stuff like that, I make a video. But yeah, today's video I give it a lot of thought. I was talking to yeah, Forma Fist has been just a great uh, just for me. I've had about like 10 channels in my life that on YouTube that have had like a great impact on me, and yeah, the Forma Fist channel is one of them, and we don't always see eye to eye. But the Forma Fist, he's always uh, open to he's open to like opposing views, and he'll always listen to you, man. He'll push back at you, and we always have like we have a kind of a relationship away from YouTube, just on commenting on things, and he's of Japanese ancestry, and he would like to move his family to Japan. So we just talked about it because I lived in Japan for so long. But yeah, that's anyhow. Through our musings and talking together, I came up and I told him, we talk always about the Tokyo real estate bubble. And I came to the Tokyo real estate bubble after the bubble had crashed. And he asked me a question yesterday about if I knew anything about the financing that people had done through the bubble period. And I answered back to him that actually I don't, because I came to Japan in the post-bubble years, and then from the mid 90s, and then the first few years in Japan, I really had to get up to speed with the language and stuff like that. So I didn't really have any sort of my thoughts were more. There's a triage when you move to Tokyo where you can't have. When you're learning the language, probably my intellectualism, and it might have been less for a few years because I needed to put my brain power to work, learning how to live life, and learning the language. And I didn't really have. Also, I was very young, right? And I was probably more into like partying and backpacking and meeting girls than I was into analyzing real estate charts, or like the patterns of the investors, or even just on a general level of a family in Tokyo, how they would have financed a property that they bought between 1985 and 1987. I should tell you, if you were the only people that really got caught hard in the Tokyo bubble were the people at the very end. Very similar to what's happening here in the world, in the West now, or here in Vancouver where I am today. It's the people that were like the latest to the party in Tokyo, for example, 86 to 89 or 86 to 91, even post crash, that really got hurt. If you look at the chart, the people who bought before 1985 are the people who bought after 1991. Yeah, the top of the bubble, or the top of the pyramid's been cut off, so they weren't really so hurt by the upward price action, other than maybe mentally they wish they would have sold in 89 at the top. But I'm going to pivot this video to talk about my wife. I've been married to my wife for almost 20 years. She's really been my best friend, and she's taught me so much just about Japan. And my wife doesn't really speak English, not much, almost zero. So we've had like right from our first, we liked each other right from the first moment. She's still very beautiful. My wife is a very beautiful woman, and she had a really interesting life in terms of the Tokyo bubble and its crash, because she was there on both sides of it. And my wife was born in 1975, and she came of age in the 1980s in Japan, and she grew up in a small town. But even when you go to her small town, you can see that a lot of the building, it's really, by the way, it's right in the mountains of Japan, and it's still, even today, through decay, there's been a little bit of decay in her town, but it still was a very well, and just this is just one town in Japanese sort of nationalism that happened between 1945 and call it. Even now the nationalism continues in terms of its building, but it was built extremely well. And then you can see that some of the really even ostentatious or very bold things that were built in her small town in the 1980s. You see these like marble statues and stuff like that on the little streets that speak of the bubble and the great economic times that were in Japan in the 1980s. And my wife came of age in this time. So, and then in the early 1990s, my wife left her town at 18 years old. And maybe you don't know this, but a lot of people from the smaller towns of northern Japan call it people that want to go and do something, the dreamers, the adventurers. Okay, they would leave their town, and that was the case of my wife. She left her town when she was 18 years old to move to Tokyo, and then I think it was her PE teacher at the time. And in a Japanese school, there's really good counseling just from the staff. And then I think there had been a teacher that had graduated from the university there, where there was a medical school. And then they had helped her to get a job working at this hospital where she worked as a receptionist. And then they had what's known as a ryo, which is a dormitory for the young nurses and the workers at the hospital. And my wife worked in this hospital in Chiyodoku near Akihabara from 18, I think, till about she was 21. And then she was able to take she's a very beautiful woman, my wife. And even I see pictures of her when she's young. Just, well, obviously for me, I'm very attracted to her even now, today. And she had been living in Koenji with, she moved out of the hospital Rio. She has great stories about those years. And then she'd moved to Koenji with a girlfriend she had made. And then that girl was working in the Japanese beautician industry. And my wife was a really good fit for that. And I guess she started off in the reception in different sort of clinics prior to the bubble bursting. And then she had worked in different clinics after the bubble had burst. And she finally here, my talk here in this video is finally going to get condensed. And the point that she made, and she always talked about this, was that she was able to work in businesses that straddle both ages. The inflationary times of the bubble age and the deflationary times of the post-bubble age, which in Japan they called the restora. That was the word they used, restora, or restore, like, which meant like a restructuring, like Japanese capitalism had to restructure itself in the years after the bubble had burst. And my wife talked about this on a real micro level because she had actually worked in clinics with business people who were obviously older than her that had built clinics in the bubble age, and they had built it, and one man, he had built he had come of age and been successful in the bubble time, and in the post-bubble time or the restorative time, he had tried to open a new business, but he was very unsuccessful. And my wife condensed all this down to often the people that came about through the bubble time, they were unable to successfully build businesses in the post-bubble age. So, and I think that's going to happen right now. I think it's going to be very similar to Tokyo in that it's a new paradigm, and the type of businesses, for example, that were successful in the ZIRP or the zero interest rate policy world, those people that are too tied to that sort of model, yeah, they're going to get it handed to them in the new paradigm here. I think maybe that I can tie this in personally too. Like, I'd always lived in like a shit economy all my life. I've never had a good job or anything like that. And while I was in Tokyo, the deflationary time somehow really fit my skills and my way of doing things. It just did. Just for whatever reason, it did. So I guess could be a little bit of an observation, but it also could be advice for all of us, including me, is that we're going to go through a paradigm. We are going through the initial stages of a paradigm shift here. There could be political stuff happening as well, like the great taking into yesterday's video I referred to. But yeah, we have to retool ourselves and like change our view on how we're going to do things in the new paradigm that's taking place or unfolding right now. It doesn't happen over one day. It's going to unfold over the next 5 to 8 years, and you have to always change your strategy all the time by looking at what's happening and the way you're going to raise your kids, the way you're going to save your money, the way you're going to invest your money. You have to change and alter how you do things in this new paradigm, and that's my challenge as well. Anyway, just another video here by the Tokyo Real Estate Man, another long one. And I had a comment yesterday. I'm really happy about that. Any kind of comments or pushback, I'm fine with. Pushback is just a way of conversation. Cool. Another video here by the Tokyo Real Estate Man from Stanley Park again. Bye bye.